Yeah. साडी शान देखो मान सम्मान देखो पंजाबी मुंडे जिवे खड़ी है चट्टान देखो साडी पहचान देखो चंगा मैदान देखो वो पैसा में बैरी किन्ने ने हैरान देखो ये मचाल बैरी मूरे आके खंगे केड़ा जिते तू रहना अपा देश
How's it going, ladies and gentlemen, and welcome to The Spotlight, episode number 2, entitled Jinder Mahal. And yes, this spotlight will be surrounding the Maharaja himself, and that is Jinder Mahal. So guys, welcome to The Spotlight on No Holds Barred Wrestling Podcast, your Canadian-based WWE podcast that talks about the WWE and no holds barred anything we say, pun intended. This episode of Spotlight is recorded offline right here on Spreaker, and after it is done, it will be posted on Spreaker itself in full on our YouTube channel, youtube.com/NHBWR, and also be available on iTunes and Stitcher Radio, so go check us out wherever is easier and convenient for you to listen to us. You can follow us on the podcast on Twitter, No Holds Barred WP, and join in the conversation, have your thoughts and questions read right here on the show. We are also available on Facebook and Instagram by searching No Holds Barred WP. I'm your host for the Spotlight today, the self-proclaimed greatest host, Kyle Masters, and I'm going to be doing it alone today. So Cobra Cav got to do his last one, episode 1. For Alexa Bliss, I'm going to do this one, Jinder Mahal. And if you listen to the podcast, guys, you know my thoughts on Jinder Mahal. So I'm basically doing this one for Corporate Cappy and all you Jinder Mahal supporters out there. And, I'm slowly starting to see the light in supporting Jinder Mahal, but that's a topic for another day. Basically, guys, if you don't know what the Spotlight is, basically the whole podcast surrounds a certain superstar, and we talk about his past, his personal life, and we just, we spotlight the superstar, and it's all about him. So this episode is for Jinder Mahal. So let's just get right into it. As I open my notes here for Jinder Mahal, I have him right here. All right, so Jinder Mahal, born July 19th, 1986. With the name, if I can say this right, okay, there's I'm gonna have a lot of mispronunciations here with the Indian names. I have a tough time. Uraj, or just Raj Singh Desi, and I think it's Desi. It's Dhesi. I hope I'm pronouncing that right. I'm gonna be saying Desi. He was born in Calgary, Alberta, Canada. So a lot of people that don't know, he is Canadian, and he was born in Calgary. Desi is an Indian Hindu Punjabi origin. So he's from that descent, and he speaks Punjabi, Hindi, and also English, obviously. He's a nephew of a wrestler named Gama Singh, who the real name for him is Gadowar Singh Sahoda, and he is his uncle. Sahoda worked in Kuwait, Dubai, Oman, Australia, Hawaii for Vince McMahon in the WWF from 1980 to 1986. So his uncle also worked for Vince McMahon. Desi holds a business degree, so Jinder Mahal holds a business degree in communications and culture from the University of Calgary. So he is a university graduate, is Jinder Mahal, and he had it in a business degree. Let's talk about his early wrestling career from 2002 to 2010. Desi began his professional wrestling career at a martial arts fitness center in Calgary. He trained... I went too far ahead here. He trained with Rick Bogner in professional martial arts wrestling, so PMW, working as Raj Desi. He then went on to train with Alan Coge and Gary Moreau. He worked for the Prairie Wrestling Alliance, so the PWA, where he was the PWA champion from 2008 until January 2010. So he held that title for a long time and is a 3-time tag team champion in the PWA. So right off the bat, in Jinder Mahal's beginning of his wrestling career, he was a huge champion in Alberta for a local wrestling company. Desi also competed for the Great North Wrestling, so GNW, where he feuded with such wrestlers as Samoa Joe and Hannibal. So interesting. So he had a feud with Samoa Joe back then for GNW. Interesting. Beginning of 2010, Desi traveled to Tampa, Florida to try out for World Wrestling Entertainment Development Company named FCW at the time, so Florida Championship Wrestling. At the tryout, Desi believed that his Punjabi gimmick and his promos made him stand out, stating that he came out wearing a turban and had his full outfit on. And and that they like guys who speak different languages and have different looks. In early 2010, he signed a developmental deal and a developmental contract with FCW. So it didn't take long for Jinder to get to the main roster. Detsy made his televised WWE debut on April 29th, 2011 episode of SmackDown under the ring name Jinder Mahal. So this was the debut of Jinder Mahal name. Greeting fellow Indian wrestler, the Great Khali. See, I remember this. So he greeted his fellow Indian wrestler, the Great Khali, and his manager, Ranjan Singh, backstage. During the segment, Mahal spoke in Punjabi that he was really happy and excited to see Khali and Rajin. The next week, Mahal, unimpressed by how Khali and Singh have been partaking in childish activities. If you guys don't remember the whole Punjabi Playboy thing and the Santina thing, I remember that. That was a cringe time for watching WWE back then. Instead of winning matches, he confronted Singh about his mismanagement of Khali, establishing himself as a heel. This is the debut of the Jinder Mahal heel gimmick. Mahal interrupted a Khali kiss cam. Oh my god, those were the worst. He interrupted the segment the following week, slapping Khali twice. Mahal continued to feud with Khali for a bit afterward throughout 2011. On July 1st episode of SmackDown, I believe this was 2012. I'm going to just double check here. Nope, this was 2011 again. July 1st, 2011, episode of SmackDown, he revealed that Mahal was married to Khali's sister, making them kayfabe brothers-in-law. On the September 5th episode, WWE Tag Team Champions Evan Bourne and Kofi Kingston in a non-title match. So, oh my god, I'm bringing way too far ahead. I'm sorry, guys. On September 5th episode of Raw, he suffered his first loss. Okay, that's what I'm trying to say. When he and Khali lost to the Tag Team Champions Evan Bourne and Kofi Kingston in a non-title match. In a rematch on SmackDown, they lost again to Bourne and Kingston. So back then, superstars, there was no specific brand split kind of thing, so they kind of appeared both on Raw and SmackDown. You're going to hear a lot of that from this. In a rematch on SmackDown, so they lost to Bourne and Kingston. After the match, Khali walked away from Mahal, ending their alliance, and so ending of the Khali and Mahal feud. On October 14th episode of SmackDown of that year, Mahal competed in the largest battle royal in WWE history, a 41-man battle royal where Mahal made it to the final three before being eliminated by none other than Randy Orton. So there's some irony right there for you. Back in 2011, he lost to Randy Orton in a battle royal when he was one of the final three members of the 41-man. That's a huge battle royal. After the feud with Khali, Mahal targeted wrestlers whom he deemed as beneath him or embarrassing. In November, Mahal began to feud with Ted DiBiase. So I'm guessing this is the junior. I don't remember him doing it with the $1 Million Man, so I think this was the junior one. On December 30th episode of SmackDown, Mahal broke DiBiase's winning streak via submission, ending their feud. So that was interesting. They just cut the feud off right there. In December, Mahal, trying to make a name for himself, went after Sheamus. So this was after DiBiase, and constantly disrespected him. On December 13th, Sheamus defeated Mahal, and for several months afterwards, they were involved in multiple matches, with Sheamus always getting the best of Mahal. So this looks like he's transitioning into that jobber state, or the guy getting to put over people. And it's weird at such a young or early point in his career. You wouldn't think he'd be used that way. At Mahal's first Royal Rumble, he was eliminated by the Great Khali, rekindling their feud. On the next SmackDown, Khali again defeated Mahal, and in an over the limit, Mahal participated in and lost a Battle Royal where the winner would receive a WWE Intercontinental Championship or United States Championship spot, where he was eliminated by the Great Khali. Mahal began confronting several wrestlers after that point, starting with Randy Orton. So their feud goes back towards 2011, 2012, the feud they're having now. So this is interesting. Interrupting one of his promos. And then went on feuding with such people as Kane, The Undertaker, and Ryback. Crazy. Yeah, I think it was Kane and Undertaker. When WWE rebranded its developmental territory FCW to NXT, Mahal began appearing on the rebooted WWE NXT, where he started a winning streak by defeating several wrestlers, including Derek Bateman and Percy Watson. On August 8th episode of NXT, Mahal was inserted into the Gold Rush tournament, if you guys remember back then in NXT, depending on how long of an NXT fan you are, to crown the first NXT champion, where he defeated Bo Dallas in the first round. On August 15th episode of NXT, Mahal defeated Richie Steamboat in the semifinals of the Gold Rush tournament. And on August 29th episode of NXT, Mahal was defeated by Seth Rollins in the finals of a Gold Rush tournament, ending his NXT winning streak. And this is actually a really, really good match. It was put on the Best of NXT Volume 1 DVD, if you guys don't know, mainly for the first NXT champion match. And also, this is actually a really good match with Jinder Mahal, so he put on a really good contest there. So this was awesome, and also ended Mahal's winning streak in NXT at that point. A Night of Champions of that year pre-show, on September 16th, Mahal competed in a 16-man battle royal. Man, this guy is just like the king of battle royals, man. He's been like every single one of them. To become number one contender for the United States Championship, but was eliminated by Brodus Clay. Oh, boy, that sucks. So let's get into the late part of 2012, and it was the birth of 3MB. Yes, the three-man band. On the September 21st episode of SmackDown, Mahal and Drew McIntyre interfered in Heath Slater's match against Brodus Clay by attacking Clay. So Brodus Clay eliminating Mahal was a kindle, or start of a kindle, this 3MB thing. The alliance of Mahal, Slater, McIntyre were later named 3MB. From October 2012, 3MB racked up many wins against Team Cobra, Santino Marella, and Zack Ryder. Wow, what a team. I forgot about that. And the Usos, all them due to illegal interference. So a good heel team there. But then 3MB went on to have the worst win-loss record as a three-man team throughout the year into the late 2013. I think 3MB's like final record was like 8-100. It was bad. In late 2013, 3MB began adopting new ring names against their opponents, although their misfortunes and amounting losses remained the same. At WrestleMania 30, Mahal competed in the Andre the Giant Memorial Battle Royal. Hey, look, another Battle Royal. But was eliminated by Mark Henry. In May of that year, 3MB formed an alliance with Hornswoggle to feud with Los Matadores. Oh my God, that was horrible. I remember that. That was literally terrible. On June 12th, 2014, WWE announced that Mahal was released from his WWE contract. So that's when he was done in WWE, was on June 12th, 2014. From there, he went to the independent circuits for 2 years. Mahal, using the ring name Raj Singh, wrestled for many independent wrestling companies around the world, from Vancouver to Puerto Rico to Japan, and then finally back to India for Great Khali's wrestling promotion. Yes, Great Khali had a wrestling promotion in India, of all places. I mean, of all people that own a wrestling company, it's crazy. So by midpoint 2016, so on July 27, 2016, he made his return, a man of peace, to the WWE. It was announced that Desi had re-signed with the WWE as Jinder Mahal. On August 1st episode of Raw of last year, if you guys remember, Mahal returned to television alongside Heath Slater, demanding contracts. Remember, they were free agents. Later, Raw general manager Mick Foley informed the pair that they must face each other in a match for a Raw contract, which Mahal won. Throughout the rest of those months, Mahal began losing to the likes of Neville, Sami Zayn, and Darren Young. Mahal would then adopt the gimmick of the man who comes in peace, advocating peace and tranquility. And I remember then too, okay guys, and I hate pointing out his flaws here. He didn't look that big when he came back here. I just want to point that out. And he started getting bigger. I understand the diet routine, cutting out carbs, that's one thing. But getting big really quick, it's a questionable topic, but we won't get into that. On the September 12th episode of Raw, Mahal stated that after he left WWE, he felt anger and raged, and since then found inner peace before defeating Jack Swagger. Afterwards, he began competing on Main Event and Superstars, those terrible shows, where he often traded wins and losses against Darren Young, the guy trying to make Raw great again, appearing on Main Event and Superstars. That makes perfect sense. On December 19th episode of Raw, a notably more lean and muscular Mahal began an alliance with Rusev after Mahal had a confrontation with Rusev's rival Enzo Amore before the two attacked Amore. if you guys remember the whole Rusev and Enzo feud from earlier this year. At Fastlane, Mahal informed General Manager Mick Foley about his desire to return to singles competition, promoting Foley to place the duo in singles matches that night. Mahal and Rusev both lost their respective matches against Cesaro and The Big Show. Yes, Fastlane, the worst pay-per-view of the year so far. Oh God, it was terrible. So we'll get into the start of the Maharaja. So basically, the Maharaja is born. At WrestleMania 33 of this year, the kickoff show, Mahal was the runner-up in the Andre the Giant Memorial Battle Royal out of 33 participants. So it shows you how much faith they have in Mahal here. And I know he's eliminated by Mojo Rawley due to outside interference by Rob Gronkowski, but good for Mahal being in the final two, man. He's almost near the end in every Battle Royal he's been into. It's crazy. On April 18th episode of SmackDown of this year, Mahal won a six-pack challenge against Rawley, Zayn, Luke Harper, Eric Rowan, and Dolph Ziggler to become the number one contender for the WWE Championship. After interference from Mahal's new allies, the Singh Brothers. Yes, the birth of the Singh Brothers. The following week on SmackDown, Mahal confronted and attacked Randy Orton before taking the championship from the title, changed the title from him and leaving the arena in a limousine with the title in hand. If you remember, this is the start of the GIF that's been going around Twitter and stuff, where Mahal is just his head's out of the limo and he's holding that title. At Backlash on May 21st, Mahal defeated Randy Orton to win the WWE Championship. So this past weekend at Backlash, his first championship in WWE. This also made him the 50th recognized WWE champion and the first of Indian descent. So he's the 50th WWE champion. Good for Mahal, man. The main reason WWE decided to have Mahal win the title is because the company's growing interest in expanding within the Indian market. So they say, with Mahal representing India as the WWE champion, even though he's Canadian. 2 nights after winning the title on SmackDown Live, Mahal held his Punjabi celebration from this past week, if you guys don't remember, for becoming the 50th man to hold the WWE Championship. It was also announced on SmackDown this week that Commissioner Shane McMahon that Randy Orton invoked his rematch clause, and the two will have their rematch for the WWE Championship at Money in the Bank pay-per-view, where there will be the official rematch. And I'm not sure if that'll be the main event or not, because there's planned for 2 Money in the Bank ladder matches. It's going to be tough to see where they fit that title match in, but that's Mahal's spotlight, ladies and gentlemen. So, yeah, interesting career, man. He's had a lot of ups and downs, and he's gone through a lot. So I'm going to give the guy some props. I guess I'll give him a little more credit, but we'll see. But, yeah, man, it's crazy to see what Mahal's done, and I don't know what they're doing with him. I don't know how long they're going to carry him with the title. We've gone over on the Lowdown show saying that WWE plans on having him hold the title even until after September, because that's when WWE returns to India, or Corporate Cappy's prediction of him losing the title and winning it back in the live events in India in September. That'd be a pretty cool idea, I think. So I like Corporate Cappy's idea. But, hey guys, I hope you guys enjoyed the spotlight this week on Jinder Mahal, the Maharaja. And that's going to do it for the spotlight on Jinder Mahal, No Holds Barred Wrestling Podcast. Your Canadian-based WWE podcast that talks about the WWE and No Holds Barred, anything we say, pun intended. This episode of the Spotlight is recorded offline on Spreaker and is posted on Spreaker in full after it is done recording, and on our YouTube channel, youtube.com/NHBWR, and it'll also be available on iTunes and Stitcher Radio. You can follow the podcast on Twitter at No Holds Barred WP, and join in the conversation, have your thoughts and questions read on the show, and we are also available on Facebook and Instagram by searching up No Holds Barred WP. I am your host, the self-proclaimed greatest host, Kyle Masters, and I'll see you next time.
ਸਾਡੇ ਹੌਸਲੇ ਰਹਿੰਦੇ ਮਹਾਨ ਜਿੱਤੇ ਜਾਣ ਉੱਤੇ ਛਾ ਜਾਣ ਵੱਡੀ ਤੂੰ ਵੱਡੀ ਵੇਖੋ ਮੁਸ਼ਕਲਾਂ ਕਰਨ ਆਸਾਨ ਸ਼ੇਰਾਂ ਦੀ ਕੌਮ ਆਪਾਂ ਸ਼ੇਰਾਂ ਦੀ ਕੌਮ